Hey guys, I'm back for my It Chapter 2 review. So going right into it, I know that the audience reaction was a little bit all over the place, so some people really liked it, whereas others were like, and then a few people were like, eh. But again, it was almost a 3-hour long movie, and you have to realize that the original It film, the TV miniseries, I'm pretty sure it was 3 hours in total. So if you combine It Chapter 1 and 2, this is a 5-hour movie, and it's a 1,000-page long book, so obviously it's gonna be hard for Andy Muschietti to take all of the source material and all of the details, but I think he did a good job. Personally, I did find my focus not entirely being there towards the middle of the film. So at the start I was really into it, and in the middle I was like, but then at the end, my focus just came back and I was like, what is happening? What? And with one of the main characters, Stanley, so I've seen the first original film, and I didn't realize how early in he was gonna end up having the bathtub scene, because when I watched the, I believe it was the 90s or the 80s TV film, I watched it back to back. So then, for me, that scene happened halfway through the movie, which I guess is why I was anticipating a little bit more of, I believe his name is Andy Bean, to be in the film, but again, he was spot on for the younger actor for Stanley. He literally looked like the adult version of him, which is why I suppose he was cast. And as well, I completely forgot that Eddie was gonna die. So a few days before going into the movie, I was like, oh fuck, that happened in the original. Yeah, this isn't gonna go well. But overall, I think the film was really good in compelling you to feel a bunch of different emotions. So 1 second, Bill Hader is there and you're laughing at how comedic he is, and then the second after, he's crying, you're like, oh my god, I didn't even realize he had that much range as an actor. Granted, I actually haven't seen him in that many films, but he was amazing. His portrayal of Richie was beautiful. That's all I'm gonna say. It was just heartbreaking and made me really sympathize with the character, which was really great. And okay, so I understand if you're a little kid, but why are you even watching the movie if you're a little kid? Why are your parents taking you there? If you didn't realize that in the scene with James McAvoy in the antique shop when he's trying to purchase silver, if you did not know that that was Stephen King, come on, it's the freaking author of the book. He's one of the best horror authors of all time. And I suppose if you're not really a horror fan or a Stephen King fan, then you might not have noticed this detail, but when adult Beverly is in the nightmare sequence in the bathroom at her former school, and when, I forgot his name, but the mullet guy, the younger version of him says, "Here's Johnny!" That's a nod to Stanley Kubrick's version of The Shining when Jack Nicholson says, "Here's Johnny," while he's trying to murder his family because he has gone completely insane in the Overlook Hotel. So those two details were just amazing. The whole scene with Bill Skarsgård turning into Pennywise, so he's putting on the makeup and then he's just cutting his face to make the red lines. That was terrifying and amazing. What they did with the Patrick character, how they had him as like a zombie corpse version helping. Again, I don't know why I can't remember his name. I'm just gonna call him the mullet guy because dude hasn't cut his mullet in 30 years, as Eddie has said. Just having Pennywise have like the corpse version of like one of his best friends when he was younger, it's a little bit unsettling, but like it's also pretty great if you're a horror fan. Stanley's spider head. Okay, so clearly all the things that I'm gonna say that I expected to happen are because it happened in the original film. I know it also happens in the book, but again, I haven't read it yet because it's really long. It's 1,000 pages. I don't have all that time, but I really want to read it. So I wasn't sure if they were actually gonna have Pennywise turn into a giant spider, but when they had like their freaking one of their best friends had turned into a spider, that was terrifying. Like when the refrigerator door opened, I thought they were just gonna like maybe copy the scene from the first chapter of it where Pennywise is just exiting the refrigerator and then like undoing himself, I don't know how you would say that, while Eddie is just freaking the fuck out there with like a broken arm and everything. But that was very creepy. Like I don't like spiders, so no. And okay, I was like so confused at first because obviously Eddie's a mama's boy. So when he was talking to his wife at the beginning of the film and they showed her face, I was like, that really looks like his mom. Like, what? Did they just get an actress that looks similar, or is it the same actress? And I found out that that's actually the same actress that played Eddie's mom. And I think that's just like a perfect detail because it's like he's been so built into being this like mama's boy because of how his mother has raised him, making him like afraid of like germs and just everything. So the fact that his wife is actually played by his mother, like the same actress, is amazing. That is just a great little detail that not everyone might have noticed. So now for what kind of put me off in the film. I understand that the first film was probably filmed maybe like 2016 and then it came out in 2017, and I'm pretty sure they were filming it in 2018. So clearly the kids have grown up a bit during that time, and we definitely know with Finn Wolfhard in Stranger Things, like the first season he's like tiny, and then the second season he's like bigger, and then the third season is like, Jesus, you have grown very tall. So with de-aging him in this film, it was just a little bit off. I don't know if I noticed that because I read that online, that was kind of one of the things about the movie that was like a little bit maybe I would have noticed it whether or not I knew about that detail. But just every time there's a Richie scene, like I love the actor and I love the character, but when I saw the younger version of him, I was kind of like, oh, can you just like put the camera on someone else? Because I don't know why, I find it unsettling. It just, with CGI, it's amazing what they can do nowadays, but sometimes it can be a hit or a miss, and this was a little bit of a miss as well. I'm pretty sure, now for this one, I'm not 100% sure whether or not they actually did anything, but I'm pretty sure they did. With Eddie's voice, the younger version of him, I don't know if they like sped it up a bit or made it higher pitched, because just every time I saw him talk, I don't know why, I felt like the sound wasn't syncing up with like his mouth movements, you know, like his lips and everything. It just seemed like his voice was talking a little bit faster, and I know that the character talks pretty fast in the first film, but granted, if any of you have seen Shazam, in that movie, Jack Dylan Grazer, his voice is a little bit deeper than when he was in It Chapter 1, because puberty, you grow up, your voice changes, it gets deeper. So I kind of wish that they just let him have his like normal voice rather than like augment it or do something with it, because I'm pretty sure they did, since every time I saw Richie or Eddie, the younger versions, it just seemed like there's something off about it. Like their acting was still great, but there's something in between it that didn't allow you to like fully appreciate it. But that's my main like critique about this film. Everything else was like really good. I think I would need to watch it a second time to fully develop like an opinion about it, because I think I was just really excited, so I didn't entirely take everything in. I mean, I noticed some of those details, but I know there are like a lot more that like passed my eye that I didn't catch. But yeah, let me know if you've seen the film. Comment down below what your favorite part of it was. If you liked this video, give it a huge thumbs up and stay away from the sewers or else you'll float too.